When the Eiffel Tower was built, it was seen as the height of technical achievement. But it was hated by critics who said it would be the death of Paris. Fast forward 134 years to the modern age, and our great technical achievement is AI, although it's similarly hated by critics and seen as the potential death of humanity. So how to get AI to be as loved and revered as this now is? The answer is careful regulation, according to the MEP and a member of one of the European Parliament's committees overseeing AI, Ibn Garcia del Blanco. But, he warns, the safeguards will never keep pace with the innovations.
Regulation is always behind reality, or normally is behind reality. So we have to assume that it's impossible to match, to catch up the speed of the technological revolution. It's quite impossible. But we have the principles, we have crystal clear the main important principles, and in this way, we make our efforts in order to have a time-proof regulation that could be adapted for new realities. This is our challenge, and of course, we have to be as humble as to assume that in the future, of course, we'll need for sure to update our regulation in some aspects. I think that it's important to take into account that Artificial Intelligence Act didn't give birth with the intention to regulate and to fix all the problems. For sure, we'll need some kind of sectorial development in some aspects, concrete aspects. But we try to establish a general framework that could be useful for the future for these concrete applications.
That's interesting that you were saying approach it with humility, and it'll be a rolling program. It'll be a constantly updating process.
Yeah, I think so. Some of the challenges I was telling in my presentation here today, some of the challenges that we are facing, and for me is the main important is the literacy of everybody. Trying to make people aware of what this digital transition is entailing, because it's going to change everything in our lives, in our daily lives, I would say. So it is important because I think that as democratic societies that we are, we need to take important decisions about the speed of the changes, about the limits of the changes, about many things. You don't have to be an expert, but you at least have to understand from a general point of view what this transition is entailing.
And how do you ensure, or how do you strike the balance to ensure that you regulate properly, you guard against problems that could arise without crushing the innovation and the spirit that is at the heart of artificial intelligence?
Yeah, this is the formula, no? We are trying to strike.
Can you solve that?
To strike the right balance, no? We know that it's quite difficult, but we are trying not to hamper innovation. We are quite aware that we need to encourage innovation, and in this way, our hope is that the regulation set legal certainty for players. That is important too. And in such way, it could be a tool for companies that could be binded for our regulation to make to use in a way of a security seal operating worldwide. So I think that we see our own regulation more as an opportunity too, than a risk for innovation. I think that at the end of the day, the problem of Europe lagging behind from a long years ago in the digital transition is a problem of investment and a problem of gather common efforts inside the European Union, not a problem of regulation.
So what's the role of companies like Huawei or big businesses and those tech companies? What's our responsibility? Because we want to see an intelligent digital world. What's our role within this regulation, within this standard setting?
I think that it's important that we have this exchange of views with these big companies that are protagonizing the real change, and in this way, it's quite important to make them aware that they need to change ourselves or to take into account important principles by ourselves in order to avoid an over-regulation in this topic. And of course, they have the opportunity by this exchange of views that I think it's absolutely imprescindible. They have the chance to make us aware by ourselves that some kind of regulation, some kind of intent could be worse than the reality itself. No, I think that we need to establish some kind of balance between private actors and public actors too.
And presumably also a contribution to education and digital literacy.
Of
And
course,
sort
we
of
are
skills.
trying to, we are trying to we are trying to encourage these big companies to be part of this. This need. I pointed out before. No, we need to make this this huge digital literacy, and for that, it's imprescindible to take into account to take on board these big companies because throughout the public institutions will be not enough at all.
I was very struck, one of the speakers just before you on stage talked about the future of AI, the impact of AI, and that one of the things she said was essential, that we need to be better humans.
Yeah.
What did you think when you heard that? I mean, because that's setting quite a high bar for us to be better humans.
Yeah, but I love the saying, because I've never seen it this way. But I think that we have an opportunity to be better. When we talk about the necessity that we have to avoid bias in algorithms, no? Just for instance, okay, bias exists in our society for decades, for centuries, no? This is a real problem that we have. Now we are going to surveillance in such a way, no? Or we are going to take into account the necessity to drag out this kind of bias in the take of decisions. This is an opportunity too, and for that we have to assume as human beings that will try to be better. And I think in this way, I think that even by the use of technology, we could be better too. Yeah, and it's important to give this message to common people, to general people, because yeah, sometimes this artificial intelligence transition, the digital transition, is seen like the monster of Frankenstein released by the village.
Yes.
But we'll have a lot, not just from the perspective of productivity, of that, of course, it entails a big leap forward, but from the perspective of have more balanced societies, we'll have an opportunity too by the using of artificial intelligence.
That's very optimistic.
I'm quite convinced.
That's very optimistic. But if we do get it wrong, what is at stake? Are we releasing Frankenstein into the village?
Yeah. We are trying to prevent to be wrong, and just in this way, we are trying to be cautious and to have this whole regulation, because sometimes there are people that don't understand that we have to regulate this field, and I couldn't understand how we didn't regulate already some aspects that are quite important, because some of the key players of these big companies are making us aware that we need it. So I think that there's some kind of consensus between the technological sector and public institutions that we need this kind of tools for the good, no? For make better societies.
It's a bit slow, but not too late.
Not too late for sure.
The village is safe from Frankenstein. Very good.